Why, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings, and this is a Lord of the Rings update. And today, this is kind of a mixed one. I'm going to put on my Lord of the Rings playlist update for just anything Lord of the Rings general, because this is big news, okay? This is huge news for Lord of the Rings fans. One of my friends, Doran, sent this to me on our Discord, and I'm going to cover it right now. There's a bunch of stuff going on, okay? So this is stuff that definitely will affect maybe Lotro too, and I want to get some, like, nerves out of the way, as in I know some people that play Lord of the Rings online with me might be a little bit worried about some of this stuff, but I think this is all positive for us Tolkien fans, okay? This is all really exciting stuff, so I do not think you should worry about it. It's really, because let me just get straight into it. So basically, the Middle-earth Enterprises has now been bought over by Embracer. This is not super new news in the fact that it's already happened, right, in this last, year ago or so, but we have some big news coming out from that they're planning on. The main guy in charge now is planning on making a bunch of Lord of the Rings games. All right, he basically wants to bring back Lord of the Rings games. Maybe we can get some really good games again, like back in the day. We've had a couple, like we've had Return to Moria. It was a really awesome game. And of course, we have the Lord of the Rings Online, and we love that game, but it's been around for a long time. It'd be fun to have some more games like the old, Third Age, or the Two Towers, Return of the King games. You remember those on PlayStation and GameCube? Those were just awesome. Those were awesome times. Even the Lego Lord of the Rings games, right? It's been years since we've had anything like that. So it's really exciting. So basically what's happened is, since Middle-earth Enterprises was bought over, basically by Embracer, and was able to do that. Now, just so everyone knows, Middle-earth Enterprises has the rights to the Lord of the Rings books and the Hobbit books and the appendices. They do not have the rights to the Silmarillion, okay? And a lot of people thought maybe Amazon got sold the rights to the Silmarillion. That's a false rumor. I've not heard that from any official sources. The Tolkien estate has firm grasp on the rights to the Silmarillion. So what we see is only things from the Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. Now, another cool thing that some of you might not know about is that Peter Jackson and Warner Brothers, Peter Jackson has come back with a bunch of the team, and they're planning on making some new Lord of the Rings movies. Not redos, not redoing the beloved trilogy we already love. They're going to try to make some other movies like The Hunt for Gollum, which I'm sure you've all heard of if you keep track. If you're just hearing this, I'm sure you're very excited, but he's going to make a Hunt for Gollum. Now, this movie, I know a lot of people are like, ugh, with the Gollum name because of the Gollum game that kind of was a flop, that came out recently, about a year ago at the time of me making this video, but that is not the case. This is going to be the Hunt for Gollum, like the fan film. Now, here's something that I want everyone to realize. So, try to put my viewers at ease, or if you're new to the channel, at ease, about some stuff. I think a lot of people are worried because we're getting this new stuff that old stuff's going to be destroyed. Like, they're going to push it away or stuff. That kind of sort of happened when it came to the fan film, The Hunt for Gollum. And within like 5 hours, Warner Brothers pulled back that block because it was an old fan film. If you don't know what it is, it's been out on YouTube for like 15 years, or I forget how many years, but it has millions and millions of views. I think I flipped it, 15 million views or something. It's a really beloved fan film, which has the endorsement of the Tolkien estate, okay? From what I've heard. Someone told me that, one of my subscribers told me that. But basically, Warner Brothers was like, yeah, they actually said in this article, which I will link in the description, because the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is important too. They actually said in the article that was a mistake. They shouldn't have done that. So I do think Warner Brothers and Middle-earth Enterprises kind of get what fans want, and they know they don't want to just crush what fans already love. They just want to make more stuff. So this is all going to be a positive for us. So that's one thing. The fan film got put back up for the Gollum movie. So that's really excited. I'm really excited. I'm stoked about Peter Jackson coming back and working on another film. Even if he has to kind of like make some stuff up, but hopefully he doesn't feel rushed or anything by anyone. I think they'll do it right. I'm really excited about that. So now, jumping back to Lord of the Rings Online, the MMO, right? This one. Right? The Lord of the Rings Online, which we've had, by the way, if you're a new viewer, and you're just hearing this for the news, we've had this game for 17 years. It is one of the best MMOs out there. It's a great game. So a lot of people get confused when they heard about the Amazon MMO getting canceled, Lord of the Rings Amazon MMO, and they thought, oh, well, I guess there's never any Lord of the Rings MMO. No, there's been a Lord of the Rings MMO for a long time. It's got 50,000 plus base players. It's a huge game. We love it. It's a great game. Okay, so with that aside, so when the article goes through and basically talks about all these things that the new CEO is planning on with Embracer, and he'd really like to start making more games, and I think a lot of my viewers and people I'm sure out there the first thing, if they're players of the Lord of the Rings Online that I just showed you, they were immediately like, oh no, you know, are they going to lose their rights because they're going to try to make new games, and then maybe they will push back for Amazon to, you know, make the games again? You make that new MMO and they cancel this one. Well, guess what? I already know, because the Lord of the Rings Online makers, Standing Stones, the team, they already put out a message after Embracer has already bought over, mind you. This isn't new updates with that. Saying that they have friends in Embracer up in the high places that already said that the Lord of the Rings Online, they know it's beloved, and they are going to let them keep the rights and keep the game going, even if they give the rights to make another MMO or something too as well. So, Standing Stone's already pointed that out, all right, in a comment. I will try to find it and link it in the description for you. I don't have it up ready right now. I have a previous video on the same update playlist about that. If you want to go back and look, you know, it was like, is something about, is Lord of the Rings Online going to be canceled because of, you know, the Amazon MMO? So my gut feeling on that and my knowledge of that is definitely not. You don't need to worry about that. There's always a small % chance, of course. I don't know the future, but I really think that that's something you just shouldn't worry about, because it's just, I think it's irrelevant, and I think that the game will have no problems. And Lord of the Rings Online updates their license every 10 years, and a lot of people were like, oh, well, you know, it's up in like 2026, and they're going to have to get another 10-year license to keep Lord of the Rings Online going. This game, right? Lord of the Rings Online in the background. And they're like, well, what if the, you know, Amazon has their game out, and then they like cancel it because, oh, everyone come to the, you know, the new MMO. Here's the thing. I know that I'm pretty sure Tolkien Enterprises is understanding the fact that that would just hurt them to do that. That would make people angry. So why wouldn't they just invite people from Lord of the Rings MMO, come try ours too? Because I feel like what they'll do is it'll be a very new kind of MMO. It will not be a classic tab targeting MMO like World of Warcraft, The Lord of the Rings Online, Guild Wars 2, like that kind of. It will not be like those MMOs or Final Fantasy. I love those MMOs. We cover that a lot on this channel. But my point is, I think it'll be a new thing that they'll try to do with the MMO, if they do it with the Lord of the Rings Amazon group. So do not worry about that. My whole point is, I don't think that's something to be a real worry. And I know some people I could see were worried about it with my comment section. Just don't worry about that, guys, because they're very clear. Standing Stones was that the team up high said that we're keeping our rights. So, and here's another thing to remember. I do not think the Amazon Lord of the Rings MMO will be done by 2026. Because I don't even think, because it got canceled, I don't think it's even in really planning phase right now. I've heard no news on it. Nothing. Okay, so, and look how we got so much news when it first was planned, right? And then it got canceled like last year, remember? I think because that happened, it's been delayed, and now they'll probably think on other stuff. Now, of course, there's other games coming out, right? Like Tales of the Shire at the time we make this update video. Return to Moria was a great game. If you don't know about Return to Moria, you should check it out. I heard some weird rumor. Can I just debunk this one real quick? That, you know, oh, Return to Moria wasn't a very good game. It has low ratings. That is false. It's a really good game, and be careful who you listen to. I'm not even sure where that rumor started, because I'm like looking for like forums or something that people like rated it. And everywhere I look, it's highly rated. So I'm like, I don't know where that came from. It's a good game. I think maybe some people might have conflated it with the Gollum game, which came out, you know, 7-8 months before that, which was a flop and not completed, which was a shame because it had some good bases, but it was pretty terrible in a lot of ways. So as we go through here, they've got tons of information. Again, I'll link this in the description. I'm not going to read this all because it would become a 40-50 minute video. And this is just an update video for you guys. You can see they've got the Embracer group, Whirlwind, and they've got some like Lord of the Rings Online, the old pack right here, which I have right here, in fact, on my shelf. And then a bunch of like some of the Magic cards are doing. So anyway, I think it's fun. I think we can look forward to a lot of this stuff. If it's some things that we don't like a game or something, that's okay. I mean, that's how it goes, right? Or maybe we will love it, you know? I'm in the boat of being positive and being like rooting for them and hoping all the new games are fun. I know that some people have mixed feelings on like some of the new Magic cards and things like that, and I have my views on it, but the bottom line is they are cool. Some of them are very cool. The Lord of the Rings Online is a great game. There's lots of other good games. I'm glad to see new Lord of the Rings games are coming out. Even if Gollum was a flop, I was glad it was attempted, right? Like, that's the thing. It would have been nice if it was completed, but like, look at Return to Moria. It was attempted, and it's a great game. And not to mention, the devs are awesome. And if you go to my Inklings playlist, I had it, basically, with Nerd of the Rings, Matt, on his channel, and we talked to the main dev, right? John Paul, for Dumont, for like 2 hours. It's an awesome interview. They're really working so hard on that game to make sure they just added a new sandbox mode. It's a great game. So I highly recommend Return to Moria. Also, the price point is amazing. It's an easy $60 game, and they sell it for 25 bucks. So, US dollars. So that's pretty cool. Basically, then, I'll finish up this video is that I love this, by the way. I love this book. I want this book. Lord of the Rings Online. This picture they put in here. Now, the funny thing about this article is, just so you know when I link this article, they mention nothing about the Lord of the Rings Online. They mention a bunch of other Lord of the Rings games and stuff. So I don't know, does that mean the Lord of the Rings Online is kind of like under their radar? And they're like, yeah, we're just going to let you guys keep doing that. I don't know how it could be. Lord of the Rings Online is like one of the pioneer games of Lord of the Rings games. It's been huge. They've got a picture of Gollum game. Here's Tales of the Shire. And then the role-playing stuff, right, for D&D. They even have some books on that. Then they mentioned Rings of Power and the War of the Rohirrim movie coming out, which hopefully will be really good with Warner Brothers. I'm excited about that. But basically, with the Lord of the Rings Online, that was the big one I want to say. So again, those are the big news points of the day. All right. So Peter Jackson's coming back. They're making the Hunt for Gollum movie. All right. So that'll be really exciting. Hopefully, I know that I already know that Andy Serkis is coming back to be Gollum. That's cool. And he's got help direct too. The Lord of the Rings Online will not be getting pushed out from Embracer groups. They've already said, Standing Stone said they already know the people at the top who now are in charge of Embracer groups, and they already said they really admire Lord of the Rings Online and what they've done, and they know there's thousands of players that play the game, sometimes hundreds of thousands depending on new expansions. And they're like, we want you to be able to keep that. So they're planning on making sure Lotro keeps their title. So I'm assuming in the next year and a half, when they have to renew their 10-year thing, that will be no issue and they'll just have it. That's an assumption, but from everything I've seen, it seems like Lord of the Rings Online team Standing Stones are very confident that they know from the higher ups who now own the rights and the main big companies, the CEOs, that they like Lord of the Rings Online, the MMO that's been out for 17 years at the time of this video, and they plan on letting them keep the rights and keep working on what they're working on, and letting us keep playing and enjoying. And I'm sure they're hoping, because that's the cleverness, right? They need to make money, right? And I'm all for that. Like, let Warner Brothers and the Middle-earth Enterprises make money. That's good. But they need to make money in the way that brings people to want to play their games, right? So instead of like crushing fan films or crushing older video games, they make new ones and just invite people over, right? And then people will be happy because they're not destroying their old game. They're not destroying their old fan films. They're making new movies, new films, new video games for us to try and play. And we'll probably love is the hope, right? So that's really kind of cool. That's a smart business move because I feel like you'll definitely make more customers than reduce, because if you crush the hopes and dreams, right, of your viewers, and you smash one of their favorite games for the last 17 years, or one of their favorite fan films for the last 10, 12 years, I forget how long the Gollum fan film was up, and then say, oh yeah, now come watch ours, you're gonna lose more than gain, right? That's just not a way to make good. That's not a good way to do stuff, right? You want your fan base to be happy. And I think Warner Brothers and Middle-earth Enterprises understands that to an extent. So, and again, remember, no matter what they make or what they put out, we can like and dislike it, right? That's the thing. And and hopefully it all succeeds and they do a great job. I'm going to have a separate video on why the Lord of the Rings Online is a masterclass in how to make a good Lord of the Rings game, even if it's not an MMO. We're gonna have a video on that. I'm gonna talk about that. So anyway, my friends, hopefully this is a fun little Lord of the Rings update. Classic, just Lord of the Rings, not just Lotro. I put on the Lord of the Rings playlist because there's just so much stuff on this update, not to mention the movies. It's a really good article. It's by my friend Durin, who plays with us sometimes. I believe he has a channel doing some Return to Moria stuff too, so you should check that out. In fact, I'll probably drop it in the description for you to see. Anyways, this is a great article. I'll put it there as well in the description for you. And then if I can find, when it comes to that one link to what Standing Stones put out as their release about that information about are we going to get shut down kind of thing, they were very clearly, no, we will not. We will be here many more years is what the gist was. And they had very good reassurances from Middle-earth Enterprises that they did, even if they give out a title to Amazon to make a Lord of the Rings MMO or some variation of MMO or game, or other games, they're planning on letting Lord of the Rings Online keep their title because, I mean, rights is my point, rights. So do not worry about that. That was the goal of me making this video. I want to try to reassure some of my viewers and anyone new to the channel. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe if you are new. If you like Lord of the Rings stuff, we do lots of fun, entertaining stuff on this channel. And then, of course, this was just an update video on our Lord of the Rings update playlist on news of the day. So cool. I'm excited as a content creator because you know what this means. New games to cover. I do voiceovers, I do gaming, and I do Lord of the Rings content, lore, collections, all that stuff. All I know is there's new collection stuff coming out. There's got a new Peter Jackson movie. There's War of the Rohirrim. There's going to be new Lord of the Rings games. What more could I ask for as Lord of the Rings content creator? I'm excited. I got all sorts. I got a fan. Oh, I'm stoked. I'm really excited. So, and it sounds like these people are good. But it sounds like, again, they put back the Gollum thing, so they're not going to be removing stuff we already love. And Lord of the Rings Online, we still will have the stuff we love, but we'll have all this new stuff too. That'll be really fun. Anyway, my friends, have a great day in Middle-earth. Thank you for listening if you did for this video. Thanks to my Patreons for their support. And again, if I earned it, subscribe button's there. Next episode will be up there for updates, and over there will be a Lotro tale, where I do voiceovers in the Lord of the Rings Online. Baruch Hazad, Kuzare menu, and I will see you all in the next episodes of Voice of the Rings. See you in the next one.